Hey, 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 what's up, everybody out there in digital land, wherever you are, what you're watching right now? Hey, my name is Mark. This is Mark in the Morning, and a little Bible from the bathroom. Today is, I don't know, what is it, Wednesday? And it's a great day to talk about this topic. I got a hot topic today. Now, if you're watching this on a reel or story that cuts off, you can go check out my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and they'll all be on there too, okay, this whole clip. But today we're going to talk about money. Money, a dirty, touchy topic. Some people don't like talking about money. You know, I had an experience when I was a child. My dad gave me my first quarter, and he said, put this in your pocket. Don't let anybody touch it. So I had three sisters that I felt were always trying to get my quarter. So I was protecting it, and I was making sure, back off. This is my quarter. I was protecting it because my dad told me to. And be very careful and put it deep in your pocket. Don't let anybody get it. Then about a year later, my mom gives me my first $1 when I was about 4 years old, and she says, hey, Mark, here's $1 for cleaning your bedroom or whatever I did. And she said, what are you going to buy yourself? I'm like, what? Dad said to save it and stash it and don't let anybody touch it, and you're saying spend it? So I got mixed signals. My dad said save your money. My mom said spend your money. And then my uncle comes along about another year later. I'm about 5. And my mom was having a party at the house, and I tugged on some girl's dress. My uncle was talking to her, and I said, can I have a quarter? And my uncle yelled at me. He said, don't ever do that again. Don't ever ask anybody for money. That's a touchy topic. You're a bad boy. So, well, thank God I didn't listen to my uncle, because I'm not afraid to, I've turned out to be money makes the world go around. We need money, okay? And so if you don't ask for money, you probably won't get it, okay? Back to Matthew 7:7, ask and ye shall receive, and if you don't ask, you don't get, okay? So I've learned I have no fear on money anymore. And there's another topic I want to talk about, money. Does your money run you, or do you run your money? Think about that for a second. I'm writing a book on that, and one day I'll release that. It's about your relationship with money. Today we're going to talk about your faith-based relationship with money, and there's a couple verses that come to mind. One is 1 Timothy 6:10 that says, you've heard of that phrase, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, if you go back and you read 1 Timothy 6, chapter 6, verse 10, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say the love of money. It doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, that's two different topics, okay? So money's not the root of all evil. We need it to get around. You got to pay your rent, pay your mortgage, pay your power bill, pay your car payment. You gotta pay money to eat food. We need money, okay? It's not the root of all evil. But the love of money is the root of all evil. And we'll come back to that in a minute. Another one is Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters. You've heard that phrase from the Bible. A lot of us have. I've heard it all my life, but didn't really know what it meant until I dug into my faith. And now I get it. The love, no one can serve two masters is talking about God, worshiping God, or worshiping money. Now, that opens up a can of worms, worshiping money. I was a money worshiper for a long time. Why? Probably when I look at my roots, I go back, raised in Las Vegas. All my friends in school and all in high school and everything said, we got to get money, money, money. And when you turned on the TV in Vegas, there was a guy in a money machine, and another commercial, double your paycheck. It's get cash, get paid, money, money, money. So I was kind of raised in this money environment. Vegas is all about money, by the way. And I got raised in this environment. And so I'm a product of my environment. I came out worshiping money, thinking money was everything. And to me, it was. For my 20s and 30s and 40s, it was like, wow, money. I was just chasing money my whole life. I was chasing the wrong thing. I found out these last 10 years with God. God, I think in my opinion, God's number one competitor for your heart is money. And he wants you to worship him, not worship money. And I have found that when you begin to worship God instead of money, actually the money goes crazy. It goes literally crazy. And I'm going to tell you a little story on that too in a second. But, check yourself, I would say, like, who are you worshiping? Is money more important than God? I got a lot of friends still here in Vegas, and they don't go to church. They don't even talk to God. They don't have time for God because they're chasing money. And they're chasing money, 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 money. Money, they even make songs about it. Money, money, money. So think about it. Let's talk about that for a second. Growing up here in Vegas, I got hooked on money. I was addicted to money for my 20s, for 3 decades. Now I'm addicted to God and the Bible, this beautiful Bible, the Word, the living Word, mind you. So let's talk about it for a second here, money. And I want to unpack that real short here, and then I got to get to work. But yeah, money is not the root of all evil, but the love of money is the root of all evil. So check yourself on, I would say, if I had any close friends, I'd say, where are you at with your faith and your money? What do you love more? Do you love money more than God, or God more than money? Because, whatever you worship, if it's not God, it's probably competing with God. And God's number one, in my opinion, God's number one competitor for your heart and your soul is your money. People will say, I could trust God with some of my buddies. I could trust God with my wife, my kids. I put my wife in God's hands. I put my kids in God's hand, my house, my car, but not my money. It's usually the last thing anybody, and it was for me too, it was the last thing I let go of. I gave God the keys to my personal life in 2017. I gave God the keys to my love life in 2019. And he's still working, he's still putting her together, whoever she is. And then in 2020, I said, God, here's my money. I thought the world was coming to an end and all the money was going down. I just said, God, take my business. You can run my business. He is now the CEO of my company. In fact, I don't even own my business. I say I just manage it for God, because when I go to heaven, I'm leaving it all here, and somebody else is going to manage it for God. So like my pastor said at church, we're all just custodians of all this material wealth that we have. We're just custodians. That's all. We just get to manage it for God until we go to heaven. Then somebody else is going to manage it. Pretty simple. No different than Ford or Chevrolet or any major corporation in America. Okay, Southwest Airlines, or Herb Kelleher, the president, the guy that founded it and started, he went to heaven. So now somebody else is managing Southwest Airlines, not him anymore. And he didn't take a single dollar with him or a single plane. He just went to heaven. And we get it, and that's where we're all going. If we have this relationship with God, and you admit that God is your Lord and Savior, and that He died and rose 3 days later, and you believe all that, and you have that whole heart in your heart, I know you're going to heaven. It doesn't matter about all your sins in the past, as long as you believe in God and you believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So moving on, money. So hopefully some of those notes made a little sense to you here. It was about 10 years ago for me when I let go of the money. Well, it's definitely 2020, 5 years ago. I completely gave the keys away. I said, that's it. What happened? OMG. 2020 Corona, I thought my company was caving in and the whole world was coming to an end. And I said, God, here's the keys. I relinquished. I prayed on it. I said, do whatever you want. I'm all yours, whatever you want, whatever's next. Whatever the next 5 or 10 years look like, I can't wait to see God, because I know He has a better plan than I have. Well, what did He do? He tripled my money in 2020. And I'm like, what? How does that happen? I could have never done that on my own. When you give it to God, you can anything to God. Your problems, your anxiety, your stress, you give it to God and He will change it all. Give Him your money and watch what happens. Let Him run it. Quit worrying about every little thing. They talk about anxiety. Quit worrying about money. You don't have to worry about it when you give it to God. I don't worry about it anymore. I don't really care. If I'm rich or poor, whatever, I got this. As long as I got my Bible and my guitar, I'm happy. That's all I need. So it kind of changed my whole priorities. And now I'm definitely worshiping God. I don't worship we need money. I need money to survive, to pay my mortgage, pay my rent, pay my car payment and whatnot. But I don't worship anymore. Money, it's necessary. It's a tool. It's just a tool. But it doesn't own me anymore. My money doesn't own me. I own my money. My money doesn't own me. I don't worship money. If it comes, it comes. There's good months, there's bad months, there's highs and lows, and it's all good. I hope you can see some of these points resonated with you today, because I'm a walking proof that if you let go of all these things that are shackles around your feet that are holding you down to this to your desk, to your work, to your life, that are just the things that are stressing you out, like money. Money can be a big stressor. I guess it's the #1 cause of divorce in America too, money, because there's a lot of people that are married that don't necessarily have God in their life, and when you have God in your life, man, it's just amazing. What He can do for you is a million times more than I can ever do for you, because God is God, and I'm just trying to spread His word, put some insight, give you something to think about. Let's give them something to think about. Let's give them something to talk about, okay? And let's talk about God. Anytime you want to talk about God, give me a call. My name is Mark. This is Mark in the Morning. Hope that was a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of wisdom. Hopefully, hope it gave you some insights, some things to think about when it comes to money. But and if you want to call me and talk to me about it, I got a call, 2 calls yesterday. I got another call a couple days before that, and text and stuff. And some people started to respond. I dig it. So call me or text me anytime, 702-497-5715. Hit me up if you want to do some God talk. I love it. I love it. I can talk God all day and all night. And all the chapters and all the verses. My name is Mark, and this is Mark in the Morning with a little Bible in the bathroom. And until we meet again, be wise with your money. Don't worship it. Let God run it, and you will be blessed. I know it. I know it. I know it. God, He's a good God. You're a good person. He's a good God. And hopefully, I'm doing okay. My name is Mark. I'll see you again. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Bye.